What's up, guys? Welcome back to the shop. Welcome back to the channel. It is 2 days after returning back from Bradenton, Florida, down at the Freedom Factory for the Freedom 500 and Cleetus and Cars. And well, it's back to work. So we've got to figure out what's going on with Homer's transmission because we have Indy coming up here in just a few weeks. So we got to get this done. And then we've got to get the repairs done from the damage to Linda. So I haven't dug into this too much, but if you watched the video, which I'm sure a lot of you did, there was a fire back here the entire run. I'm guessing there's probably some oil leaking out of the valve cover, caught the headers, and you know the deal. So we got to get on that. And then of course the huge, we went through spark plug wires. So we got one there and we've got one here. It's just the usual stuff. So we got to get this back together because if I can't get Homer done in time, which is right over there, I've got to get Linda ready to go. Either way, we're going to be in Indy. So anyway, like as usual, sit back, get you something to drink. This is Buster Radio Garage. Let's get after it. Alright, as you can see here, I got Homer up on a stand already. First thing I'm going to do in these old Chryslers is you have to take the starter out to get the inspection plate off. So I'm going to go ahead and get the starter removed to get the inspection plate off. Get in there, kind of see what's going on, see if we got any metal shavings, see what in the world the deal is. And push comes to shove, we'll get Homer up on stands, get him up on support. So we'll drop that transmission out, check out the front main pump seal, see if somehow it was damaged, because like an idiot I didn't change that when I put the engine back in. So that little $11 part is going to cost me an entire day's worth of work now. So hindsight's 20/20, right? So we'll get after that, and then if we can get that straightened out, we'll put it all back in and go through this again. Fortunately, the engine is running good. We got to time it, get a little dialed in, but other than that, if we can get this transmission issue fixed out, Homer's going to be an Indy. And I love running with Homer because I don't care. If I hit the wall, I don't care. If something happens, I don't care. I got a little bit of concern with Linda, but I want to take Homer. Homer's my boy. I want to go have fun with him. So let me get you set up underneath there. We're going to get the starter out. Well, I'm off there now. Alright guys, I took my ramps and I faced one way and one the other way to kind of lock the car in place so it can't roll, forward or backwards. We're going to get the front up on stands. Let's keep going. All right, guys, we got him set up on stands. I think I gave myself enough clearance here to get the transmission somewhat out and down. Leaking out right here at the front of the bell housing. Up in there. I have a feeling it's the front pump seal, but I'm not 100% for sure. So we'll figure it out when we get it out. If it's a super easy fix, we'll put this right back in, but I don't have time to be playing around. So I think what I'm just going to do is, again, just throw that 904 up in here. I mean, it's a built 904, and to be honest with you, they're just as good, if not better, in a 727. So let's get to crack-a-lacking and get this in and be done with it, because I want to have Homer driving by the end of today. Get you guys a pretty cool video. So, all right, cool. That's it. I'm going to set you up. Let's get going. All right, guys, I guess I'm going to start with getting this starter out for the 829th time. And then I'm going to get this linkage removed, get all this done, get these coolant lines removed, and then we'll work our way up through there. So give me a couple minutes, I'll get this out, and then let's see, we'll get this neutral switch off. We'll start, and then we'll get the drive shaft out of here and try to get this thing dropped out real quick and get this 904 put in. Hold on a minute. Hold on. All right, guys, I don't know how much of this you can see, But I'm gonna set you up so we can get these bolts out of here and get this starter off. And the thing is, this starter weighs 805 pounds. It is ridiculous. And they don't weigh that much, but it's ridiculous how much it weighs. And it's just in a spot to where it is a pain in the butt. But I like these little stubbies. I don't know if you can see this or not. These little dinky stubby ratchet wrenches. You get at Hobo Freight for like 15 bucks. You cannot beat them. Can't beat them. Figure out which way is my lefty, righty, tighty here underneath here. Well, do I got the right wrench? I think so. Well, maybe not. Actually, I don't think I do. Now, wait a minute. It might be. This starter's worn from... I had to get everything timed. And of course, this starter bolt will only run out halfway, and then you got to do the rest by hand or with the other end, and that's a nightmare. I'm hoping we can get this car done because I really want to take it to Indy. So, and have a good time. All right, that's gonna be it with the ratchet. Now we got to do the rest of it with the box end, which is always not fun. You kind of want to leave this bottom stud bolt on a little bit. If not, this thing's gonna come crashing down and knock you in the head, which I don't want to hurt my starter by doing that. All right, here's our 2-liter pop bottle size starter out of the way. Got all the bolts put back up in the bell housing for now so I don't lose those. Next, I'm gonna disconnect these two coolant lines and the linkage, get all that out of the way. Start getting all this buttoned up. And then we'll start getting the drive shaft and all this out. And get all that jazz out of the way, and we'll get ready to start dropping this transmission after I get it unbolted from the engine itself. Kind of got to do that. But, and then we will focus on getting that 904 put back. Fingers crossed, I guess I better do that instead of the thumbs up. You know, fingers crossed we get it all put back in there, and we can start driving this evening. All right, all, we've got the kick down, the linkage all unhooked, neutral switch unhooked. So now I'm gonna get these two coolant lines out of the way, and then we'll start getting everything taken apart back here, drive shaft, all that jazz. I'm gonna try to drop this old girl out real quick. I'm gonna give Kathy the camera. She's kind of like film as we're doing this. You know how it works here now. And get this sucker out of here. Oh, sweet baby Jesus, don't break. Oh, score. There's one. All right, one more. Come on. Oh, no. Come on. Work with me, Homer. Man, that stinks. We're going to get Homer and Indy one way or the other, y'all. I want to take Homer back. And this time not tear up the wall like an idiot. And see if we can get us one of them bald eagles to bring home. All right, safety twins. All right, guys, got the flex plate bolts out. Got one of the lower transmission bolts out. I'm taking the other lower transmission bolt out, which is behind the oil filter. So got the oil filter out, and of course that made a heck of a mess everywhere, which is over here underneath these rags. And then I'm gonna go up top, take the 3 or 4 upper bolts out, and then drop the drive shaft, pull this transmission out, look at it over real good and see like what went wrong, and then see if we can get that 904 put in here, and then go see if we can do a test burnout and blow the 904 up, and then we start all over. So let me get you in here, show you what we got. So we got everything taken apart, got the starter out, got the upper bolts out, lower bolts out, oil filter off, all that jazz. So I'm gonna move up here, get this cross member bolt out, which I've already got loose. I'm just gonna We'll go ahead and take it the rest of the way out. Go up top, disconnect everything, and we're gonna drop this old girl out of here and get her swapped out. Oh, please tell me you say round it off. Well, give me my wrench back. Hey, you common. All right, guys, I'm gonna drop his drive shaft, and then we're gonna get this transmission out of here. I guess this has decided to be 2 different bolts today, or help me understand what's going on here. I'll tell you what, if it wasn't for the trunk pan, the floors, the rails, and some of the body, this would be a pretty rust-free car.
I don't think there's a spot without rust.
That's pretty fair. I don't see one. Man, I got a bug in my nose. All right, guys, still at it. It's been about all day. But getting this cross member out now. I'm gonna go ahead and drop the transmission on the ground. And then we'll start getting the other one hopefully ready to put in. But just been fighting rust all day, as you can imagine. And so yeah, that's where we're at. So let me drop this cross member out. You guys can hang out for a second. And then we're gonna get this transmission on the ground, I hope. All right, guys, we got the transmission pulled. 727, 904. Here's the drive shafts, Homer versus Junkyard Dogs, if that makes sense to you. And of course, the shop looks like it just exploded. So in the morning, we're gonna continue this on. So this is gonna be a couple days worth of work into one video. But tomorrow we'll get everything cleaned up underneath. We're gonna throw that 904 in, get it all bolted up, test it. Hopefully we can get a gnarly burnout in and Homer be ready for Indy. That is the goal here. So I didn't film a whole ton of this. I mean, we got you some, but as you can imagine, laying on this floor, getting that honking thing out of there was no fun. But anyway, so we're gonna fast forward till tomorrow. All right, guys, it's a couple hours later. It is daylight now. So we're gonna get back after it, and we are gonna get these transmissions swapped out. I gotta get some of the parts off the 727, put on the 904, clean up this god awful mess. This is the carnage from yesterday. It looks like a bomb went off in here. It is just an absolute mess. I've got crap laying everywhere. The only good part about all this is the engine's ready to go. So we're good there. It's just now we got to get the transmission straightened out. I got to get a fuel delivery issue taken care of, but I don't think that's going to be much of a problem. But we've just got crap everywhere. I mean, everywhere. So I'm gonna get back after it. Let's go. I'm gonna try to get a burnout in today. Make sure Homer is ripping and ready to go for Indy. And then I got some other stuff I want to do with the car, get him ready. But man, this is a rush. I've been waiting 2 years for this to get him done. Linda is an absolute mess over there. I got to get her straightened out. It's just good night. All right, guys, got everything set up in here. Got ahead and went and changed the fittings. Got all that done. Got the linkage ready. Now, unfortunately for the 904, with this being such a rush deal, I don't have a new 904 converter. So we're gonna use the original 1976, signed by the builder, Merry Christmas, torque converter. Pray it holds up through Indy. We're gonna find out. So, we're gonna go ahead and slap this in here. And then I'm gonna roll my big snack cake eating butt back up underneath there and try to get this hung and get everything put back together. Hopefully it goes back together easier than it came apart, because that was an absolute nightmare with all the rusty bolts and what have you. But we got everything set up here. We'll kind of clean it up as we put it back, and then see if we can get Homer moving today, which has been the goal forever. Forgive the hair. My hat is somewhere, I don't know, in there. So let's get going. You were in there for 30 years. Get in there. Oh, there it is. Now we're set. Oh, we are for sure set. All right, the torque converter's in there now. Got luckier and I'll get out on that because I got it obviously set on an old empty race barrel can, which probably isn't good enough to even hold the transmission, let alone that. And the converter. So, I'm gonna put a mark here so I can see it underneath to make sure it didn't slide back on me. And then we're gonna get in there and get this hung. So give me a few minutes to roll all of this mass underneath the car, and then we're gonna put this big girl under there and see if we can get it in. Hang tight. All right, guys, here's my current situation. So we're getting ready to try to stab this back in here. So I got my linkage, my coolant lines and everything just kind of hanging here, and we'll move them as we need. Flex plate and all that. There's the, the back of the engine there. So we're gonna go ahead and get all this draped up and slide them in here. And I think what I'm gonna do is I don't have a transmission jack. It's probably the only tool I don't have. So, but I do have a motorcycle lift, which, is about an inch or so off the ground. So I'm gonna get the transmission under here, get the tail shaft in up over the cross member here. That'll act as a pivot point. Jack the front up, get it shoved up towards the engine, try to get at least one bolt in to kind of hold it in place, and then get the rest of those bolts in and just kind of put everything together and snug everything back up. Get that done, and then hook up, get all the doodads hooked up in here, fire it up and see what happens. And hopefully this 904 is going to be able to hold all of that for 2 minutes in Indy, and then when we get back, we'll figure it out from there. All right, guys, got it set up in here. It's not hooked up 100% by any means, but we're heading in the right direction. Using a trusty floor jack, which is interesting. Get the balance all figured out, but hey, we got her done. So, gonna go ahead and get this trans cross member put in, get it bolted down, get all the brackets hooked up to the trans itself. So I at least got some meat and potatoes holding this area in here. And then essentially it's just gonna be leverage, right? Because this is gonna be held to the car. And I'll jack up and work this way up into the block. I've got 2 jacks. I got one on the front of the car and one here on the transmission. So get this as close as I can. I'll lower down the front of the car, try to get the angles right. Get one bolt started into the block, and then get everything kind of set, and then I'll connect the torque converter to the flex plate. Get that all dialed in. And we'll just keep pecking away, and we'll see if we can get this done today. But it is a chilly, like 40 degrees here right now, so it's nice in the shop, but it's a little chilly outside, and this floor is not a heated floor by any means. So cool. All right, I'll check back in here in a little bit, and we'll see if we can get HOMER out on the road today. Still got a lot to do. Got to put the drive shaft back in, go out through all that jazz and what have you, but we're getting there.
Okay.
Get in there. Get this started. Wow. All right, guys, we got everything just about back together. Got the drive shaft hooked back up to the rear end. Got the trans cross member put back in. Got the trans bolted to that. Got the linkage all hooked up. Got the coolant lines, transmission fluid lines all hooked back up. So now we're getting ready to connect the torque converter to the pressure plate, and then hook up the starter. We'll get this thing dropped back down, and we'll fire it up and see. Oh, we got to put fluid in the transmission. There's just a little bit in there, but not much. Let's see. There's a lot could go wrong here, but hey, it is what it is. So give me a minute. Let me get these put in. And we'll get some fluid in it, get the starter on, get it down, and then we're gonna see what happens. Clear?
Yep.
It ain't got no tune left in it. I'm gonna throw it away. All right, guys, been a long day. But anyway, got the 904 in, got everything hooked back up that I hope's hooked up. I don't think I forgot anything. So we're gonna go ahead and try to fire him back up. He was running good when I parked him. Still had a little bit of timing issues, but it's fine. We'll deal with that later. So I'm gonna see if I can get him running, check on the, see if he'll move first, double check the brakes, and then we'll get him out, move him around a little bit, see how he does, get him up to temp, see if we can get our test burnout in, and then we will go from there. Boys and girls, with the help of my wife and my granddaughter, Homer is ready for Indy. 904 held up good. He sounds sick. Cannot wait to see you guys there.